Good morning everyone. Welcome to the English class. I hope you have gone through the poem again. Let's see the exercises from that chapter today. All of you please take your English reader and turn to page number 75. The first is reading comprehension. If you haven't read the poem again, please go through the poem once again and then come back to the exercise. Let's see the first question given there. Question A. Tick the correct option. As an old lady, the poet wants to give back and you are given 4 choices. Money to her kids, happiness and joy to her kids, peace to her kids, a home to her kids. So, which is the correct option? As an old lady, the poet wants to give back happiness and joy to her kids. She wants to give back all the happiness that their kids gave her when they were growing up and she was raising them as a parent. Question number 2. The poet will bounce on the, is that furniture, bed, carpet or sofa? The poet will bounce on the furniture just like her kids used to do when they were small. Question 3. When her kids find the poet getting into mischief, they will, is it punish her, run after, shake their heads or laugh at her? When her kids find the poet getting into mischief, they will shake their heads. At dinner time, the poet will throw food around, not eat the food her kids cook or sing for the kids. At dinner time, the poet will not eat the food. Let's see the next one. The poet will throw away her socks so that she can, is it watch TV, play in the mud and get dirty, stick them together and wash them. The poet will throw away her socks so that she can play in the mud and get dirty just like her kids when they were small. Question 6. When the poet goes to sleep, her kids will feel, is it unhappy, delighted, relieved or surprised? Her kids will feel relieved. Let's see the next section of exercise. Read these sentences and answer the questions that follow. Question number 1. And when they get angry. Question A. Who will be angry? Who will be angry? The kids of the poet will be angry. Question B. Why will they be angry? The kids will be angry because she will do all the naughty things that they did. Now question C. What is the poet going to do? The poet will run to save herself from her kids. Let's see question number 2. And say with a groan, she's so sweet when she's sleeping. Question A. Who is going to say this? The kids of the poet are going to say this. Question B. Who will be sleeping? The poet will be sleeping when she's an old lady. Question C. Why will they say this with a groan? The kids will say it with a groan because she was a big trouble to them when she was awake, and now that she is sleeping, she looks so sweet that they can't be angry anymore. Let's see the next section of exercise. Section C. Answer these questions. Question number 1. What does the poet want to pay back? The poet wants to pay back all the joy her children gave her when they were young by staying with them in her old age. Now, question number 2. What does she want to do when her kids will be on the phone? When her children are on the phone, she'll get into things like sugar and bleach. Question number 3. How will she react to her children's cooking? When her children cook dinner and call her to eat, she will not eat her green beans or salad or meat. She'll gag on her okra and spill milk on her table. Question 4. How will she watch TV? She'll sit close to the TV and check out what is showing on all the channels. Now let's move on to the next section. This is about think and answer. You can see 3 questions there. Go through these questions carefully. Think about what could be the answers. Pause this video. Think about what is the answer for each of these questions and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let's discuss each of the questions one by one. First one, do you think the poet will bring joy to her kids in her old age? What do you think? I think, no, the poet will not bring joy to her kids in her old age. Question number 2. Why does the poet want to do all of these things? I think the poet wants to do all these things to make her children realize they troubled her in exactly the same way when they were young and she had to deal with all their mischief and tantrums. She wants them to go through the same things that she had to face. Now, question 3. Do you do any of the things the poet wants to do when she's old? How do you feel? How do your parents feel? Yes, sometimes I don't like green vegetables and refuse to eat them. I also sit too close to the TV at times. I feel comfortable doing the things I want. Parents don't like this attitude because managing undisciplined and naughty children gets tiring for them. So I hope you're clear with these questions. Now let's move on to the next section. It's about appreciating the poem and the use of repetitions in a poem. So sometimes poets may use repeat words, phrases or lines in a poem. This is to insist a particular point in the poem. And the use of such repetition is called refrain in a poem. And in page number 77, you can see a question. Which of these lines have been repeated in this poem? Is it when I am an old lady and live with my kids, or is it I will drink from the carton and then leave it out, or is it I will thank God in prayer and then close my eyes? So if you have read the poem again and again, you might have noticed the line when I am an old lady and live with my kids. It's given repeatedly. Why the poet repeated the lines in the poem? Why the poet used a refrain here? This is to insist that this lady will do all the mischief that her kids did when they were growing up, and she'll do this when she turns old and go live with her children. Now, let's see the next question. How many times has the poet repeated this line? So, in the poem, you can see this line 5 times. So, it is repeated. It's given 1 time and then it is repeated 4 times. So, the line appears 5 times in the poem. So, she has repeated it 4 times. Let's see the next one. Why do you think the poet has repeated this line so many times? You may have more than one answer. Is it to create a pattern, to give rhythm to the poem, to make the idea stronger, or to make the poem interesting and humorous? So why do you think the poet used the lines again and again? It's to make the idea stronger as well as to make the poem interesting and humorous. Next is about values and life skills. And here it explains about the need of respecting others. Let's read the question here. You may have noticed that the seats are reserved for the elderly and the differently abled in buses as well as the metro rails. Imagine that you're sitting on one of these seats that is meant for them. An old lady or a differently abled person gets on the bus and stands before you. What would you do? Would you stand up and give the seat to them? Or would you just sit there and watch them standing? Is it a good manner? Is it a way of showing respect? No. When an old person or when a differently abled person is trying to get a seat, you should get up and give them the seat. It's a way of showing respect to them. They may not be able to stand longer or travel standing. It would be very difficult for them. So as kids, you should always respect such people and show them the respect through your actions. Question number 2. Now imagine that you're still seated on that reserved seat and this time a pregnant woman boards the bus. Would you give up your seat for her? Why or why not? Would you give up? If I were in your place, I would definitely give up my seat for a pregnant woman because it's not safe for her and her baby to travel standing in a crowded bus or train. There are chances that accidents might happen and it will also be so tiring for her. So whenever you see a pregnant woman, you should always give up your seat so that she and her baby can travel safely. That is also a way to show respect to her. So there is one more question given here. While traveling by train, the elderly often prefer the lower beds of a train to the upper ones. Do you think this is right? Share your views in class. So you know, in a train there will be a lower berth, a middle berth and an upper berth. So the elderly people usually will prefer the lower berth. Do you think this is fair? Or would you just insist that you need the lower berth? It will be very difficult for elderly people to climb up an upper berth. And at night, they may have to wake up many times and they may have to use the toilet. It would be very difficult for them to climb up and down if they're using the upper berth. So I would say it's fair to give up your lower berth seat in a train to the elderly people. This is my view. You can share your views by writing it in your notebook. Now the next section is vocabulary and it's about movement words. This poem is full of action words which show movement and bring energy to writing. Unscramble these words to make correct movement words. One has been done for you. So movement words are words which show some action like jump, write, read. These are words which show some action or movement. Here you can see some scrambled words. The letters of the spelling are given in the incorrect order. These are all movement words as well. You have to unscramble each word to find the correct word which would be a movement word. Do this as an activity now. You can pause the video, finish this exercise and come back. Hope you are done with that. Now let's see which are the correct words. So the first one is already given there. It is correctly spelled as bounce. The second one, when it's correctly spelled or when it is unscrambled, it gives the word jump. The third one gives the word trance. Fourth one, write. Fifth one, snap. And sixth one, shake. You can also find out more movement words on your own and write in your notebook. Now, let's move on to the next section, page number 78. It's the writing exercise. It's about poem writing. Choose the correct words to complete this poem. And you are given a choice box there. And the words given there are bag, fly, blue, me and flew. And there is a poem given below. It's an unversed poem. So you have to choose the correct word from the options given here and fill up the blanks given in the poem. Do this as an activity. Pause the video, finish it and come back. Let's see which are the correct words to be used in this. Calico pie, the little birds fly. Down to the calico tree, their wings were blue and they sang tilly-loo, till away they flew. And they never came back to me. They never came back. They never came back. They never came back to me. Hope you got all the answers correct. Now below that you can see an exercise. This one you have to do as an activity for the day. Let's read the question. Now write a poem on a bird of your choice. You could follow these steps. Think of your favorite bird and why you like it. Write down ideas for lines or couplets that rhyme. Write down keywords that will help you remember all the points you want to include. You could use opposites, put your ideas in an unusual place and use funny words. So this one is an exercise which will give you a practice on poem writing. I know some of you are great in writing poems. So this one you have to think of your favorite bird. It could be any bird which you like. It could be a peacock, it could be a parrot, anything you like. And you have to write a poem about that bird. You can use the given set of instructions here and complete the activity in your notebook. And below that there is this My Word Bank exercise. You have to write the new words that you have learned in this poem. So you might have come across some new words. So you have to write these new words in the space provided here. Get to know the spelling, get to know how to pronounce these words, and also you should know how to use these words in a sentence. So right now we have come to the end of this chapter. I hope the chapter and the exercises are clear to you. We'll meet in the next class with a very new chapter. Till then, bye.